Instagram and on KMT. And
morning, y'all. Hello, we got Tony here. Good morning, Tony. Tony from Chicago.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. A beautiful day in God's paradise. We got Kiltz Mighty Tribe Live, Dr. Kiltz Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We got Tony, Primal Foundations, Ali Wells, and Dr. Nelson Vasquez here for another beautiful day. I'm in Syracuse, New York today for the week, and then back down to Florida. And we're going to talk everything primal. Is that right, Tony?
I love it. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this primal carnivore lifestyle.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on. I started out, as a young kid, I was just kind of misguided with my nutrition. Italian family, we're just eating, pasta, pizza, a lot of Chinese food as well as in there. But, grew up kind of heavy set kid, trying to find my own way in life of like trying to be physically fit, started working out. But my nutrition was one thing that was lacking. I get into my later years and I find being vegan for 2 years at one point. What was told to me was you got to eat vegetables, meat is bad, and the whole forks over knives, trying to study this all stuff is picking up, and went vegan for 2 years, and I started to get really bad blepharitis in my eyes. I was gaining weight. I didn't feel good, and I said, I don't think I could do this anymore. So I kept hearing keto. Everything was keto this, keto that, and I started a ketogenic diet and enjoyed it. I liked it. I saw the Sean Baker podcast with Joe Rogan, and that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. That was about like 2019-ish. And a little bit after that, I started just trying carnivore, and I felt great. My relationship with food changed 100%. This is somebody that's pretty much, never had a handle on, how to eat and what was satiating. I didn't understand what that was. I went into 2021. I was loving carnivore, and I was training for an Ironman, and nobody wanted to work with me. No coaches wanted to be a part of, my program or their program, because they're like, oh, you're going to die on the course. You have to have carbohydrates out there. And I'm like, come on, man, like just work with me. And I finally found a coach who said, hey, I don't know what carnivore is, but go for it. I'll show you a training plan and things like that. So I completed a full Ironman on a carnivorous diet, felt amazing. And that was a telltale sign for me. I was like, I can compete at this. I'm getting stronger. I feel good. And all those things are great. But I guess the biggest piece where I started helping people is because of my relationship with food has changed so much. I'm not constantly craving a bunch of different junk. I don't go off the handle anymore. I mean, when I used to like, quote unquote, go on my diet, if I have something that I shouldn't have, I would fly off the handle. One little piece of cake or something, it would just be, I would go and binge eat, just addicted to sugar. But I feel great. I feel amazing now. And my goal is just to get people really strong and get back to the sense of eating a proper human diet. Whether carnivore is for you or not, I think the biggest thing is just getting people to eat single ingredient foods, right? And prioritizing animal protein and fats and just feeling good and thriving. So that's been my journey right now. And that's, why I share what I share, and, all the stuff that you guys do as well is amazing.
How young are you now?
I'm 36.
36. And you've been in the carnivore space for?
It's about 5 years now, I would say.
And by the way, so my parents are from Brooklyn, but also Chicago, River Forest, and used to hang out there a lot. And it was always in our family, pizza, pasta. I mean, everything Italian, which our heritage, loved the food, but I too gave it up, and have never felt better. And I think that, ultimately our cultures are part of who we are. So what's your sort of family feeling in all of this, and how hard has it been to sort of give that up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when I was vegan for those 2 years, they were all freaked out. Like, you can't go vegan. You need to have protein. You need to have, meat. And then when I'm like, hey, I'm going to go on this all meat diet, they're like, oh, your cholesterol is going to be out the roof. You're going to die. Like, oh my gosh. And so I couldn't win either way. But, I talk about my family a lot. And, my dad is somebody that had a quadruple bypass. My stepfather as well. Like, they're all, and my whole family's heavyset. They're not the greatest in health. And I feel that with my family, I do get questions a lot, but I talk the talk, I walk the walk. In our conversations that I have, they do have questions. They're asking me questions about, hey man, you look really great. What are you doing? I need to get on that. I need to try that. I think the biggest thing is being consistent and kind of holding 2 feet down in the ground and saying like, hey, this is the way that I eat. I feel really good. The hard part when you go to family parties, right? Everybody wants you to eat everything. They want you to have all the desserts. They want you to have pasta, the panzerotti. Like, they want everything. And they're like, well, just have a little bit, And it's one of those things where, this analogy of, hey, if somebody's an alcoholic, right, and they're addicted to, alcohol, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to abstain from that. I'm not going to have that. You're not going to go, hey, just have a shot. Just have a little bit of, have one beer. You're not going to do that to somebody. I feel like I don't want to go off the handle anymore. I can moderate now, that time to time, right? That time to time. I can do that now. But from before, I couldn't cheat. I couldn't cheat because then I just go off the wagon. I'm in a good place right now. But it's hard because everybody wants you to eat the family food. Everybody wants you to enjoy with them. But I tell them, you know what? They're like, isn't this restrictive? I said, you know what's restrictive? Feeling like crap tomorrow. Not feeling really, really good. So for me, if I abstain from some things and, say thank you, but I'm okay. I think I'm at a point with my family where they don't even ask me anymore. It's more of questions I get all the time from my family. They're like, so wait a minute, I just went out with my father and my godfather and my cousins, and we went out for barbecue. And I don't know, Green Street Meats. Did anybody know that one for Chicago?
Not yet.
Green Street Smoked Meats is the best smoke. I would put it up against anybody in Texas. Like, it's that good. And it's a big statement, I know, but they always want to go there. And because that's one of my favorite spots. And we're standing in line to get stuff. And so my uncle or my godfather's like, wait a minute, you just eat meat? I'm like, yeah, man, that's all I eat. He goes, how's your cholesterol? How's this? That's all the questions I get. I'm like, it's fine. It's good. I'm like, it's a little high probably, but I'm fine. It's good. It's just a number. I'm like, I feel great. And so they're just like, can't believe that I've been on this journey of eating only meat for 5 years. So it's just a lot of questions now, but hey, I talk the talk. I walk the walk. I feel good. My performance is great. I'm probably the strongest I've ever been. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for me, I feel and look great. And, I'm so happy with myself right now that I couldn't imagine where I would be if I didn't go carnivorous.
I have a couple of questions, Tony.
Sure.
Nice to meet you. You said you were vegan for 2 years.
Yes.
And what happened that you abandoned that?
So when I started out, I'm going to be 100% honest. I started feeling good. I was like, oh, I feel kind of great. This must be the way to go. Because, I just cut out a bunch of junk that I was consuming. And after a couple years, I started getting blepharitis in my eyes. And it's just like styes in my eyes. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was never satiated. My grocery bill, you think people say carnivore is expensive? Try being athletic and trying to eat, bowls. I'm talking bowls of spinach, quinoa, black beans. And I was just, my gut was so jacked up.
How many times a day were you eating?
Dude, like 3 or 4 times a day, easily. And I mean, my grocery bills were out of control. It was a lot of work, a lot of eating, a lot of I was irritable. But then I found myself in this trap of having like, oh, well, this is plant-based, so I can have it. This is vegan, so I can have it. It's kind of the same how keto is right now. There's so many keto treats and different things. It's not even food at this point. So I went down that rabbit hole of a lot of stuff I was having was out of a box. It was fake. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just didn't feel great. I gained a lot of weight. But any weight that I lost starting out, I gained it all back. And when I went to that keto phase for a little while, like 2017, 2018, I started feeling really good. I just kept vegetables in because I'm like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. I need my vegetables. But when I kicked them, I mean, when I tell you I had to take doxycycline every month, I had to take antibiotics for my eyes because they couldn't figure out what was wrong. So after probably a month or 2 on carnivore, I'm just like, wait a minute, I haven't been to the doctor for my eyes. I mean, they would flare up big time. So I was like, wait, this is crazy. I feel really good. And I haven't had any flare-ups in my eyes. I'm satiated all the time. I'm not craving things. So that was like a big changer for me. But yeah, vegan just wasn't sustainable for me whatsoever. I mean, it's something like I never really want to go back to.
Yeah. I come from a Puerto Rican family, born, raised in Puerto Rico. I've been out of Puerto Rico for now almost 40 years. As a matter of fact, 40 years is this year. And one of my sons married someone from Cuban ancestry. And we have the same cultural issues with food as Italian descent people. We get together, we eat all kinds of stuff that includes rice, beans, all kinds of tubers, and all kinds of wonderful dishes. And eating is part of the culture and the socializing in the family, right? So now I've gone through 2 Thanksgivings, 2 Christmas, 3 birthdays with a different pattern of eating. And, the family knows, and we get in big family gatherings sometimes. You've been doing that now for about almost 5 years, is that?
Yes.
So what do they still say? I mean, are there any family members still say, no, you shouldn't do that?
I mean, a little bit, I get the question. The biggest thing is the cholesterol. Everybody's worried about my cholesterol. I was like, well, nobody really cared when I ate junk, or I had the standard American diet or whatever, but they're all worried about my cholesterol right now, which is, I mean, I understand this is where we're getting into this, like, this just propaganda and this narrative that we've been told over and over and over again. So it's hard for just regular people like that are not in the know to shake that. It's really tough for them. It's like telling somebody to change their religion, so they are worried about me in that sense. I'm reassuring them that I'm fine. And it's just what it is. It's like, you have to just literally walk the walk and talk the talk and stand on your own 2 feet. It is what it is. Nobody's telling me or forcing me to put food in my mouth. That's me, right? I have to take ownership of that. And you have to just say, no, thank you. It's just at the point where they know. The only things that I get from them at this point is like, I'll have a piece of cheese, right? And they'll be like, oh, you could have that? I'm like, yeah, I could have whatever I want. Like, oh, you could have this? I was like, yes, I could have this. It's all good. And again, that time to time piece that every now and again, I went to Japan, right? I was in Japan last summer and I had some things that weren't quote unquote carnivore, but I'm like, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to have a few things. That's fine. But what makes me feel the best is just eating mainly a carnivorous diet. Once a day for me is fantastic. I don't see anything going back. So I get the cholesterol question of, and I get like, what can and can't you eat? But they just know at this point, just because that's just me now. But yeah, Orozco gandules, right? You get a lot of that, huh?
Oh, see.
How long did you say you've been carnivore?
This is 5 years now. I think I've just passed up 5 years.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a question on my Instagram feed. I want to lose fat fast.
Okay. All right. So this is a great question, but what does fast mean? What is that? I want to be in shape tomorrow. Well, here's the thing. My biggest thing for people is number one, right? You got to get your nutrition in check. And that's going to be, let's eat single ingredient foods, right? Let's prioritize good nutrition, whatever that looks like for you. I'm a big fan of, carnivore. I think keto is great as well. If people want to try that route, they're not ready to dip their toe into the carnivore space. So getting your nutrition in check, not eating things out of a box, not eating things that's a laundry list on the back of the package, right? That's number one. You clean that up. Number two is be consistent with activity, right? I'm a big fan of strength training. And again, people really think that I'm in the gym 5 hours a day. No, that's not what it is. It's consistency. Whatever you do is consistent. What's the best workout program? Whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for you. Just be consistent. I work out less now than I've ever have, and I've got the best results. So whatever you are choosing to do, I think strength training is a big piece. I think a few days a week, strength training. Some people just work out once a week, do one full body workout, and that's it. But strength training with some movement in your life, right? And you don't have to go run a 5K every day, but you could walk, right? So eating good, nutritious food, managing that, knowing your triggers, knowing when to abstain from things, knowing if you can moderate things. For me, for a while on this journey, fruit was a big trigger. I couldn't buy fruit in the house because if I buy one thing of fruit, I would eat the whole entire thing. It's supposed to last me 5 days, but I ate it in a night just because I couldn't stop myself. So it's just knowing your triggers. It's a little bit of strength. Again, I'm a big fan of strength training. I think one of the best things you can do for longevity and your health is strength train. So movement, strength training, clean up your diet and be consistent. I mean, it's not super, super rocket science. And then when people say, I want to lose weight fast, well, why? What is the why? Well, you have a competition next week. You got to weigh in for something. Life is a long journey, man. So, it's baby steps, you'll get there.
When we talk about weight loss, we have to, I guess, look at weight gain. If there was a period of time where you gain weight, it wasn't 20 pounds in 2 days, right? Yeah. It was a gradual, slow thing. And you kind of came to realize it when you were adjusting your belt, maybe, and it kept getting tighter. And it wasn't all of a sudden. It was gradual, slow increase. And we all do it. We want to get results very quickly. So you mentioned you start with your clients where they are, right?
Yeah.
And whatever your level of activity is, let's increase from there rather than you have to run a marathon next week.
Yeah, it's consistency. It's starting where you're at. It's a change of lifestyle. It's a change of mindset. Mindset's the biggest. I would say mindset is the biggest thing. Because if you're looking at how many hours a day you train versus how many hours a day you're walking around living your life, training is minimal. All that stuff is minimal. Your nutrition is important. But yeah, and life is like the seasons, right? right now I've gained a little bit of weight because I'm doing, it's wintertime here. I'm not coming. It's hard to get outside when it's like, 20 degrees out. Like it kind of, yeah, it sucks in Chicago sometimes, but summertime shy is a thing. We love the summer, but I do more heavy barbell, more strength training in the wintertime. I'm indoors a little bit more. But in the summertime, my body composition, again, we have to talk about body composition versus like the weight on the scale, right? My body composition will start to drop a little bit because I'm more active. I'm playing volleyball. I'm running outside. I'm swimming in the lake. So everybody looks at the number on the scale and thinks that's the biggest thing. Like it's going to go up. Life goes up and down. The scale is going to go up. Your body composition is going to go up and down. But how you manage that with yourself is the biggest thing. The questions you're asking yourself is going to be like, how do I feel today? Do I feel accomplished? Do I feel successful? Right? Is your marker of success going and walking today? That might be the marker of success. Am I getting up a little bit early? Am I doing my job well? So that's the way I look at it. It's just seasonal stuff.
Ed Coleman on KMT. Good morning, carnivores. Don't care about my weight anymore. I care about how I feel and my body composition. I want to be a coach for others. I'm not a doctor, but I am a motivational leader. And I think that, what is the optimal weight? Do we really even know that?
Your body is going to want to put on fat. Like it's what it's designed to. It's designed to do that, right? So you're judging yourself against what you see in a magazine or a movie, and that's what we're getting. Like when you determine what determines your success. Am I successful or like of how I look based on a magazine? No, that's so unrealistic, right? I'm not shredded by any means. I don't have like popping out chiseled abs, but I feel great. Like, I don't mind taking my shirt off. 10 years ago, me and young Tony, I was active, but I was partying, drinking, I had a little bit of a beer belly. Like, I would be kind of embarrassed to take my shirt. Now I don't mind. I don't care. That's fine.
Next question, Dr. Nelson.
Well, I was going to say, Dr. Kiltz 69, he doesn't care about taking his shirt off.
We've seen that a couple times. I just saw that with you and Sean O'Mara, which will be up soon.
I've seen Dr. Kiltz in person. He's pretty jacked.
Well, we're learning all together, and that really is the critical part. And someone asked about visceral fat. I think I
have that question. That's this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Working on Me Canada. What is the best way to get rid of fat around your organs? I lost 62 pounds doing carnivore, had a DEXA done, said I have organ fat, been carnivore 5 years, strength train and walk dogs every day. Do I lower fat intake? Any ideas?
This is on you, Tony.
Yeah, the DEXA scan is great. I think you're going to have to gauge that to at least a few scans to see if what you're doing is helping and assisting. If this is just one scan, yeah, you might have visceral fat, but I don't think lowering the fat is going to be the biggest driver. You can play around with that though. Like there's some people, I would say for myself, I've tried to eat a little bit more in the past, a little bit more fatty meat than I'm usually accustomed to. And I saw my body composition going up. It was slow, it was gradual. But I would say the biggest thing here is stay on this path. You lost 62 pounds. It's amazing. Just keep that up and then gauge your DEXA scans. And then also is your functioning? Are you feeling good? Is your function in your body working? Other than that, you're doing a great job. If you're strength training and walking, keep that going. Yeah. So I don't think the change to the diet is the biggest thing.
I still question. Why would your body make something that is causing you a problem? Visceral fat is made for a reason.
Yeah.
Abdominal fat's made for a reason. Subcutaneous fat's made for a reason. So I just think, once again, we're measuring something and then we're going by what someone else has told us that maybe isn't true.
Possibly.
Visceral fat is normal.
Next question. Papa Carnivore. Tony, what message do you have for the vegans, vegetarians who are seeking optimal health?
Ooh, Papa Carnivore, great question. So I get that. Are they seeking their own optimal health, right? Now, if people want to be vegan or vegetarian, like, you can do that. Like, that is again, I'm not here to tell people how to eat, right? You know, people come to me, it's going to be for like carnivore or really like primal line diet. But if you want to be vegan or vegetarian, like, it's going to take some work. I'm sorry. It's going to take extra work, whether you don't want to, you're doing it for a moral reason or what have you. It's going to be a lot of supplementation, right? There's things that you just cannot get out of the plants. And I think over time, you're seeing a lot of vegans and vegetarians that are crossing over into a ketogenic, a paleo, a primal diet. Maybe not carnivore, but yeah, I have personal friends that are like this. You know, one's vegetarian, and his health is not doing so great. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a carnivore. It's just a friend of mine, and I'm trying to encourage him to actually eat more. He does eggs. So I'm like, dude, just try to eat a little bit more eggs, you know, this, that, or the other, clean up the diet a little bit. His wife is a nutritionist who's also vegetarian. She's telling him to eat meat now.
Oh, wow.
She's telling him to eat meat. And he told me, I said, I told you, you know, so, but he doesn't supplement with anything else. He just, you know, kind of eats kind of crappy, but it's vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think you can only help people that want to be helped, right? If again, there's some we have to be honest, like, there's some people who are vegan or vegetarian that, you know, they supplement, they feel good, no problems, like, okay, great, you know, but if something starts to change, you might have to look at that nutrition. So I would say for people that are vegan or vegetarian, you can do it. You're going to have to supplement. Just really, if you want to cover all of your bases, if you're not going to eat animal products, you're going to have to supplement with something.
Yeah, you have to make an effort, and it's not a little thing. If you want to stay healthy while you're vegetarian, vegan, you do have to supplement a few things that are not going to be found in the plants. We have a question by Brian Fly Fisherman Dish. Do you think that type 2 diabetes be totally reversed, or is it just a reset to a normal range?
This is out of my wheelhouse.
That's you guys. That's all you.
Throw it out there, Tony. What do you think?
Yeah, so here's what I look at. I look at people that have Healing for Humanity, for example, right? Healing for Humanity. Carrie Mann. I was at that meetup, and there's people at the meetup that were talking about how they don't take insulin anymore, right? Or that they've got at least their insulin or blood glucose level in check, like the A1C. There are people out there that have just totally kicked that and have said in their personal stories that they've reversed their type 2 diabetes. They're off insulin. I am very hip to believe them, right? Just based off their stories and their journeys. I'm not a medical doctor. I can't, make those like complete statements of like, yes, yeah, it's 100%. But from the stories that people are sharing that they have tried everything, right? But they go to a carnivorous diet and boom, gone. Right? They don't have it anymore. It's reversed. So I'm pretty hip to believe that it can be. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, but there are stories out there. There are people out there, and that's why people share stories. This is why people do podcasts. This is why people get on live streams to share these stories. So I would say yes. But again, I'm not a medical doctor.
Well, there are three words that are used: remission, reversal, and cure. Now, I'm not going to use the word cure because that could get me into big trouble.
What word, doctor?
Cure. Now, but remission, there are definitions about remission and reversal. Okay. Diabetic for 28 years or 29. I am not diabetic anymore. Okay. I have completely reversed what I had diabetes. My fasting blood sugar, just a minute before we went online here, was 82, I think. It was 84 yesterday. It has been definitely under 100 for a while. And I have reversed hypertension completely as well. Those are the two major things. I have reversed like several things. Yes, you can do it. Nowadays, I dare to say, I don't have a study to back this up. I dare to say 95% or more of the people diagnosed with type 2 diabetes nowadays shouldn't even be close to having diabetes. There's a small percentage of people with predispositions for whatever reasons. That would take a few hours discussions about, but it's such a small number. Eliminate the ultra processed foods, eliminate the sugar, the flours. If you want to eat vegetables, there's a few that may be acceptable, non-starchy vegetables. Be careful with the fruits in season and all that. And if not, go carnivore. I did it by going carnivore. I don't tolerate even small amounts of carbohydrates.
I equate the disease. The condition. No, the exposure of poison ivy to our skin, and we get damage to our skin. Correct? Do we call that poison ivy disease or allergic reaction to a plant? And I just wonder if type 2 diabetes is simply damage to the liver, secondary to plant toxins, almost like goitrogens, which damage the liver. And when the liver's damaged, glucose levels rise, and thus insulin levels rise, and that's our diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. But if you simply stop eating the poisons to the liver, your sugar levels remain lower, and because you're able to convert the sugars to fat fast, and that might be it. But I agree with Dr. Nelson. We won't use the cure word.
Should we use solution? Should we? I asked AI what words we should use instead. Solution is one.
Well,
Fix is another. Salvation is another. You've been salvaged from your diabetes.
But in modern medicine, we give you a label. You have a disease,
right,
that you're going to have for life. So you're going to need our care and our drugs for life. Now, we can put you on a payment plan, your monthly insurance bill, and but it's not going to cover everything.
That's right.
Next question.
Next question is from Brisket Boomers. I can't find it now, but Rebecca, Coach Rebecca is our guest tonight on the Kiltz Mighty Tribe Zoom call.
And we got to get Amy on our morning live. So
yes. Amy, email me.
Amy, Brisket Boomers.
Yes, she's got to email me. We'll do it.
We're not gonna miss her.
She's gonna be here. Let's see if I can figure this one out because there's one word in here I cannot pronounce. Hola, Dr. Kiltz. Yesterday, I'm the queen of Spanglish, so I should figure this out. Yesterday, USC Dr. Nelson to start this charlas en español pendiente.
We're gonna create a Spanish language live maybe once a week, twice. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Right?
We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Dr. Nelson and I are going to chat about that, but most likely Wednesdays at 3. And it's going to be, we either need to start like a Kiltz Spanish channel or on Dr. Nelson's channel to do that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, exactly.
Dr.
We'll figure it out.
We're gonna schedule on my channel, and we'll have Dr. Kiltz channels.
We'll talk about that afterwards.
All of it is one. Yeah.
We'll talk about that afterwards. Okay, next, Norse carnivore. My 19-year-old sister's vegetarian with mental and physical issues before carnivore. At 23, I had these issues too. How could you go about changing her mindset towards reintroducing meat? Tony.
This is the one piece where you got to, it's because it's tough. It's hard. I got my own sister that I've, has had health issues and not a good relationship with food. And, it took me a while. And it's actually, I would argue it's harder if you're related to them. It's 100% harder to change somebody's mindset. So I would say one, you can't help anybody that doesn't want to be helped. So it's something that they want to do. You can't be a foghorn. I say you got two types of people when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. You either somebody that's going to be a foghorn or a lighthouse, right? Foghorn is just out there blurring. It's kind of like disruptive, but a lighthouse, like people look for the lighthouse. They seek the lighthouse. They seek the safety. That's something that they go to naturally. So I would say, don't be a foghorn about this stuff. Be a lighthouse and lead by example, right? If there's something that has been a challenge for you, talk to your sister about it. Tell her how you're feeling now, how you like everything is great in your life and, you're doing well and you feel great, especially if there was, I think the question popped away, but I think it said mental and physical issues, right? So if you've helped those two things, talk to your sister about them. But again, it's hard when you're a sibling or you're hard when you know them very well. It's crazy. People like you'll be somebody's like tight best friend, but they'll take somebody else's advice over you that they saw on TikTok or Instagram. Right. So don't be a foghorn, be a lighthouse, and just, give people grace and, they'll be ready when they're ready.
Great.
Cool. Next
question. We did that one already. Okay, so Richard Hepburn, does everyone on the panel use electrolytes? If so, how often? Why not? Or why?
It's a good question too. For myself, when I was doing endurance training, I'm talking 18-mile runs in the morning, 100-mile bike rides kind of thing. I would use electrolytes. It's something that I would put in, water bottle and go. And Kiltz has got some Kiltz's health electrolytes. Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's electrolytes. I don't put as much in now as I used to. Kiltz got the Malton? You got to get the smoked salt one, boss. That one's even better.
Yeah, that one's good too. That's good too. I agree. But I just kind of like do my Malton. I just do a lot of salt.
Yeah.
Find a salt you like and do a lot of it.
I think when people are starting carnivore, I think it's okay to if you want to get the packets, just to kind of start out. There are the LMNT that could be kind of controversial now because I guess they found some stuff in the LMNT. Salt stack or salt sticks. Vinnie Torridge, I think, sells some things that that are you get the Kiltz's whatever. You throw that in some water. It could help you mitigate some stuff, that keto flu, if you will. But at this point, I just salt my food very well, and I don't even really throw electrolytes in. The only time I would is if it's gonna be hot out and I'm going and I'm doing it for a performance reason. But I'm not downing electrolytes every time I have water. So if that answers your question.
Great.
Fasting.
Yeah.
Fasting,
Tony.
So I've played around with this a lot, actually. I've gone on like a 4-day fast. I used to do it a little more often, but I found myself, I'm more of a 1 meal a day person, sometimes 2 meals a day, smaller. Just it depends on my schedule for the day. And that's a thing about carnivore in this lifestyle. You eat when you're able to eat. You know, if I'm somewhere and I'm supposed to be eating right now and the food is not something I like, I say, okay, I'm good. I've talked to you before about this. This is a superpower for people. If you've done some fasting in your life, right? And people fast for all different religious reasons, what have you. It's at first it could be hard, it could be difficult, but you get through it, and you're put in that position where it's nothing but junk. You can say, I'm okay, and you can fast, and you can make it to the next day or whenever, get home and make your own meals. So I think the extended fasts, I think within moderation, right, is a good thing. I think people do overdo it. I think people will do, like I've talked to some people, I'm on an 8.5 day fast. And I'm like, why? Like, why are you doing that? And again, people will have their own reasons. I think a reset every now and again, I try to do anywhere from a 3 or 4 day fast a few times a year, you know, but I think fasting is great. If you want to pull the lever on some fat loss, there's that reason as well. But I think people can't lean on fasting for their aesthetic goals. Those are two different things, but I think fasting makes you feel better. Anytime I do an extended fast, I do it. I feel great. And I try to keep my meals one big meal a day. So basically a 24-hour fast every day for me, unless there's the day where I'm going to eat twice. And if I'm going to eat twice, it's smaller meals. It's within a window, right? I'm going to have that window from 4 to like 6 p.m. So fasting is great.
But don't I have to, being sarcastic here a little bit, but don't I have to eat every 3 hours?
You will wither away to nothing. Yeah, I mean, I tell people, it's a narrative that people have been told.
I have to keep my metabolism up.
I got to keep my metabolism up, all this stuff. This stuff has been actually measured with my charts that, like, you know, they'll have metabolic carts that people will do. And people that were fasting or had intermittent fasting had greater results than people who are eating multiple times a day. Right. So it doesn't, you're not going to wither away to nothing. Right. I fasted. I do my workouts fasted, guys. I do almost 95% of my workouts are fasted. And sometimes when I go on these like big like endeavors, like I'm retired from Ironman training, but when I was 100-mile bike rides, right, with a bottle of water, I'm good. You don't need to eat every 5 seconds. This is something that's been, you know, pushed on people because you have to have this many carbohydrates, this much protein after your meals. Well, what's the most convenient thing you can do when you get done with your workout? If you're coming out of the gym, is to grab something from the fridge and go buy it. That's a protein shake or whatever meal replacement, because you're supposed to, right? It's all propagated to make you buy more crap. I think we've like in the, you know, 2,000 years ago, we didn't have protein shakes, man. And I think we're doing fine. So you're not going to wither away to nothing. If anything, you're going to feel better. Your performance could actually go up as well. So you don't need to eat 5 times a day.
We're built to go days and weeks probably without food. I'm on a 5-day fast just because it's a little bit my food freedom and something that I feel really great doing, but it's not required. But I think 1 meal a day is really good, but you know, to each his own on where you want to be. It's sort of like a marathon or Ironman, right? You want to do it, great, go do it, because there's a sense of accomplishment and power in what you can do. That's hard. That's why I think fasting is sort of an amazing thing. And what's the fuel for the body? It's your fat. The food you eat is simply there to be converted into fat, mostly because most people don't eat fat. Even most carnivores do not eat a lot of fat. They eat cooked meat, which melts away the fat. Next question.
Oops.
Bless you, Dr. Nelson.
You went off the screen, but we still heard you.
It's the morning allergy. Sorry.
Stephanie. After a week of upping fat with butter because I can't find fat trimmings near me, I'm up 4 pounds, lower protein to lower A1C, but now hungrier. I'm frustrated, too mad. And Stephanie, are you type 1? I think you've mentioned that. Okay.
So for when I see this after a week of upping the fat with butter, okay, you're going to have to, everybody is going to be a little bit different. Everybody's like, what's my ratio? What's the best thing? What's give me the number now. And it's like, well, what works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. I like Coach Bronson's method of kind of dealing with this is basically, you get people that are going to go a 1-to-1 ratio, every gram of protein and every gram of fat, right? So 1-to-1, and you kind of manage that and you kind of figure that out. I think 1 week, again, if you're up 4 pounds in the week, it could be just a natural swing of things, and it might actually dip back down because you're actually getting the fat that your body wants. So it might retain a little bit, then go back down. But it might take you a little bit. This is the problem with fitness, and this is the problem with nutrition, is people want to jump around from program to program to different nutrition plan. If this is something you're looking at, your intake of fat and your intake of protein, go 1-to-1 for a little while, right? If you start to gain weight, it's like, okay, maybe I can bring back the fat a little bit. It's literally like a lever. Like you have to know when to, up it and down it, but you have to actually give it time. So I would say go to a 1-to-1 ratio for a while and see, but give it like 4 weeks. A week is your body, again, we talked about your body does this a little bit. So give it some time and I think you'll be okay. And if you need to pull back the fat a little bit, okay, go ahead and do that. But just commit to something for a little bit, knowing, hey, if my weight goes up 4 pounds, it's okay. Like it's all good.
And I tell people who, if you want to go lean, look at Marie Emmerich's stuff, protein sparing modified fasting. I mean, basically lean meat has less calories than fatty meat, and go lean for a little bit if you want to sort of cut the weight a little bit. But long term, no fat is not good for us. Cool.
There you go. FX Trader, how do doctors determine when to stop medication like insulin? Is it based on A1C number, Dr. Nelson?
It's based on how you're feeling and how your blood sugars are day to day, basically. You start having hypoglycemic episodes, you're using too much insulin. And we want to keep it under certain control, but it has to be something individualized. You need to have a little plan, which your doctor can discuss with you. You don't have to be able to call your doctor at 3 a.m. because your blood sugar may be low at that time. You can plan ahead with your provider, giving you some guidelines on how to manage the ups and downs. But basically, an A1C is going to reflect your average blood sugar for 2 to 3 months. You don't want to wait 3 months to make changes. If you're really going strict keto or carnivore, then you're going to have to cut insulin, both long-acting and short-acting. So, because your sugars are going to get better. Even though last year we had an article that red meat causes diabetes, and all I see is people that are doing strict keto or carnivore reversing diabetes. So, but I don't know, New York Times or whoever was that published the article based on a long epidemiological study that counted lasagna as meat, which it does have some meat.
Very little.
Well, but it also is lean meat anyway.
Yeah.
It's all lean meat, but you're right, a ton of plant products.
Can electrolytes disturb heart rhythm? I think that's a Dr. Nelson or Dr. Kiltz question.
Our body regulates the electrolytes pretty tightly, and having a little bit more salt or less salt, it's not going to make any significant changes. The answer is yes. Excess amounts of potassium, magnesium, sodium could affect your heart rhythm, but if you're just salting your food to taste, you're taking some magnesium, because I take magnesium every day. I used to have a lot of cramps, and I don't anymore when I use a regular amount of magnesium and salt my food. I put a little bit of salt in water as well. But we're not recommending exactly huge amounts of electrolytes.
Okay, good. Let's see here. Let's see. Eve, forget calories, Shirley. That's a question.
Surely. Well, what
like
is
counting calories,
yeah,
I guess.
what is a calorie? I mean, let's look at what is that? Like, it's just basically a mathematical way to determine the energy in something, right? Like, it's just, what is a calorie, right? And not to say calories don't mean anything. Like, I also have to put that on the table. It's not like a free for all. Like, well, calories don't matter. I think, okay, we have to like look at a certain things, but what is in the calorie that you are consuming, right? There's Casey Ruff, who does the Balanced Body Radio. He's a great dude, but when he did his metabolic charts or carts, he was having people go on these calorie restrictive diets, and based on the mathematical equation, like, these people should be losing weight, right? Based off this equation, like, they're working out this much, they're burning this much, everything is like documented and calculated, but they weren't. They were plateauing or gaining weight. This doesn't make any sense. Well, if we use this calorie count, then boom. Well, you're using mathematical equations to solve a biological issue, right? It doesn't work like that. So calories, we have to stop thinking it's just like the way we think of things, right? I need to look at, what does nourishment look like? What makes you satiated, right? That's what I'm looking at. Because if we're talking about counting the calories and or having a conversation of calories, we're talking about the wrong kind of stuff. So that'd be my take on it. But I think tracking for some, again, if you're going to go down this road of, hey, I want to lose weight, tracking is managing, right? And we just had that one question about, I'm putting a little bit more fat in my diet, I'm starting to gain a little bit of weight, what should I do? I think it's okay to track for these situations to figure out what works best for you. But I think when we look at our food, we shouldn't be looking at numbers. Like, it's not numbers on the plate, it's nourishment on the plate. So what nourishes you, what makes you feel good, and go from there.
Great. Shirley, the name Shirley. Shirley, will carnivore help with spinal stenosis?
I'm out of this question. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to really make a long list of things I have that many people have. I do have lumbar spinal canal stenosis with neurogenic claudication. I was almost in a wheelchair a couple of years ago. Going carnivore has not changed the structural damage that was there, but I have no pain. I'm able to walk, I'm able to stand. A few years ago, I wouldn't, we went to spent some time with Dr. Kiltz and Alia in Texas, right? I was standing all
Yeah.
day and all night, and you know, I would not have been able to do that a couple of years ago. So it improves the symptoms that I get from it. I rarely get any sciatic nerve pain. I'm able to tolerate a lot more. May not change the structural damage, like I said, but I also have very severe problems. Not problems. I don't have problems anymore, Dr. Kiltz.
None.
But there are some degenerative changes in my neck, severe, by the way, described by the MRI as severe, and I have no symptoms. So, you know.
Jonathan loves Dr. Nelson. He's well informed and experienced. Thanks, Jonathan. That's a nice comment.
Thank you.
I like that, guys. The carnivore muscle. I like that.
Yeah. He's great. Let's see. We've got we've got no questions left. We've answered all the questions so far. Oh, but we're 56 minutes in, so we might as well give everyone a chance to do.
What are we giving out today?
Kiltz Keto is carnivore. Yay! Get your copy by putting hashtag primal into the chat. You got like 1 second left while I work out how to put this up on the screen. Here we go.
Where can people find you, Tony?
They can find me at a few places. My website, primalfoundations.com. And there they can, there's some kettlebell workout programs that I have for people, beginner and advanced. They can sign up a free consultation. I tell everybody, just if you are interested in any of this stuff, just sign up for it's free 30 minutes. I don't charge anything. I love talking about this stuff with people and just, awesome. helping people just kind of find a little bit of a path. I'm on Instagram at Tony_Primal Foundations. I do have a YouTube channel as well, Primal Foundations podcast and the Let's Talk Strength podcast. So we're out there, we're just doing good work or attempting to. So
awesome. That's great. I have to put this up really quick because sorry, Dr. Nelson, JJ Questiverse. I don't know how to pronounce this, but I've heard it's
ankylosing spondylitis. But
like it's the worst thing ever, right?
Okay, name a disease. Just name a disease. Any disease.
Yeah.
Carnivore will significantly reduce your pain, symptoms, problems, if not cure. Or what was your word, Dr. Nelson?
Reverse.
And because they're all caused by exposure to the antigens, chemicals, sugars, and fermentation of the plants in your body. So it really is like, yeah. How about beef liver, Tony?
Beef liver, I made the attempt. I'm not gonna lie. I made the attempt. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan. I did do the capsules for a little bit. I tried the liver capsules. I did that for a little bit. I think it's great for, again, if you want to optimize and supplement a little bit, totally fine. But I'd rather do the beef liver pill than the actual beef liver. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kiltz Health has both organ meats and liver supplements, electrolytes. And if you read Meat 3 Times a Day by F.J. Schlink, back in 1946, it was published, just adding meat and organ meats to your center stage of your meal will significantly improve people's health if you're not in the keto, paleo, or carnivore lifestyle yet, but just doing that seems to really be a value and benefit. All right.
There you go. Let's do this. I'm just going to do a plug really quick. Chicken liver, people. Chicken liver, bacon. You'll love it. Okay. Thank you. We're going to do the giveaway.
Liver, organ meats, I think are real important.
I love chicken liver. Once a month, I want it. Dr. Cami and Karen go keto. Yay! You know my email address. Shoot me an email. Shoot me an email and you will get it.
Ollie at drkiltz.com.
Ollie at
If you want to get
drkiltz.com.
on our show, you want to be part of this, you want to share some comments, Ollie at drkiltz.com.
Yep, there you go. Come and find me. Okay, there we go. It's been a pleasure, everybody.
It's 6. I got a 6 o'clock call to get to. Tony, you're amazing.
Thank you so much.
And Alia, you're amazing. And everyone, thank you for stopping in for the Hour of Power, 5 to 6 a.m., Monday through Friday. If I'm not here, it's Alia, Dr. Nelson. If they're not here, I'm here. But the most important part is that you're here, and these are on repeats. And let's join Tony, Primal Foundations, share the word in the way. God bless everyone.
Okay,
Have a good day.
goodbye.
See you, Dr.